removing the half chicken that we are going to debone. Okay, so I'm going to take off the left half, or left for me. So find this line in between the breast. You should see a little line of white fat. So we're going to cut on just the left side of it because I want to take the left side of the chicken off. So follow that line and you should be able to cut along the breastbone. So when you open it up, you can see the breastbone there. There's a little cartilage at the very tail end of it that's white. So you should be able to see the cartilage because that means you have cut along the bone well and you've not left any meat on the bone. Okay, so once you have opened it up, just disconnect any bit of skin that's still connected here. So cut that open. Same with this end. See that little bit of skin that's still connecting the two sides? Just loosen that up so you can have easier for you to work with. Now, once you've cut straight down, so the breastbone goes straight like this, and then there is a carcass bone that goes kind of sideways down. So what we want to do is basically just follow the curve of that bone and remove all the meat from there. So using the tip of your knife, just a little tip, use your boning knife, not your filleting knife. So my boning knife looks like this, it looks straight, but your boning knife has the curve at the top. Now you'll see why yours has a curve because again, that's kind of where you want to be using your knife. So when you're cutting like that and just using the tip, you're kind of doing this motion, which is what the curve is for. So your filleting knife is the same shape of my boning knife, but don't use your filleting knife because filleting knife is flexible. We don't want your boning knife to be flexible. So this needs to be quite stiff so that you can really push against the bone and cut off as much meat as possible. All right, so remember that curve from the breastbone down to the carcass. Push your knife against the bone and then just cut down. Again, just using the tip of my knife, I'm just following the bone all the way down. So when you're cutting down, be careful, don't cut through this bit of skin. You need to keep the skin all together. So just do a little bit at a time, a little cut, a little cut. So I'm going all the way down from the same direction. I'm not cutting here and then turning and then cutting. Just keep going in the same direction because then you can kind of see, you have a better view of like where the bone is. If you start cutting in both directions, then it gets a bit confusing. So as long as you stay on the bone on this side, you can slowly release all the meat and then you'll be able to see the rest. So just keep following that. Now when you come down to here, right there, so the carcass is shaped like this where it has the breastbone down the middle, carcass bone goes down the side, and then this is kind of your shoulder joint. So when you get cut down to there, don't worry, again, just keep following it down. Once you get down here, this is where the shoulder connects to the wings, the bicep, all right? So once you get down to there, make sure all of the breast is off. So you see how the breast meat is completely off the bone now, but still on the skin. Skin is not punctured. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the shoulder from the wing joint. Okay, so just follow that bone down, and then you'll see a little joint, and then you can just cut in between. So see that? It's two bits of cartilage. So just go in there and disconnect that. Alright, so now we've taken the breast off, we're going to go ahead and do the legs. Legs compared to the breast is pretty easy. You just go, this bit of like kind of connective membrane there, just cut that open and then flip it around to the other side. Remember where the joint is. You have the oyster meat, that's a little bump, and then the joint is just under the oyster meat. You should be able to feel it. So push one finger down on it, thumb is behind the drumstick, and you're just going to pop that joint out. Now from this side, you'll be able to see So see that bone? So that means I've popped out the leg from the hips. So once you do that, I'm just gonna follow again the bone. Just use the tip of your knife so that you don't cut too deep or cut into something that you don't want to cut into. So once you get that off, essentially we've already disconnected the breasts and the legs from the carcass, okay? So once you've done that, now the key thing is to remove it from the back. Now, because we are rolling this half of the chicken, the more skin we have on it, the better it is. And we don't really care as much about the skin on the other side. So instead of, just taking half the skin, or half of the skin of the chicken, we can try to take a little bit more skin from the other side just to give us more skin to wrap. So we're going to keep following this down. Make sure you get the oyster meat as well. And that's that little lump of meat. So just slowly, tip of a knife, slowly follow the shape of the carcass. And you see, I'm just using a little bit at a time. So you don't need to really try to cut a lot off. So what I'm trying to do is basically take off more skin from the back. Show you guys in this direction. So I'm just trying to get as much skin off as I can, still attached to this half of the chicken, so that it's easier for us to wrap. So I've basically taken to the point of, you can see that this is the spine, the back of the chicken, and I've already taken off all the skin from that side. So that should be enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and cut all that skin off. So if you look at the carcass, we've taken the skin from the other half of the chicken as well. Don't go too far and start taking it off the breast of the other half. You just need that little bit back of carcass. So there you have your deboned half chicken, all skin intact, drumstick, breast. I've kept this little bit on. I'll show you later why I did that. And then you have you see all that extra skin. That's gonna help us make our lives a bit easier when we're wrapping. So hold that. All right, so keep that off to the side. Bacon is ready, nice and crispy. I'm gonna add it to